All right, let's dive into a problem that's as old as power itself. What do you do after you've conquered a people who are used to being free? It's a brutal question, and for the answer, we're turning to the master of ruthless strategy, Niccolò Machiavelli, and his legendary guide, the Prince.
So let's put you in the driver's seat. You've done it. You've won. Your army is in the streets of a city that has just been conquered. But there's a catch. These people have a long, proud history of governing themselves. They don't know what it's like to have a king. Machiavelli says this is, without a doubt, the most dangerous situation you could possibly be in. So, what's your next move?
And here's exactly why it's so risky. Machiavelli's warning is crystal clear. The spirit of a free people is almost impossible to kill. You're not just fighting an army, you're fighting an idea. The memory of freedom, he says, is a weapon, a rallying cry for rebellion that will never, ever let people rest. It's gonna haunt you. And that gets to the very heart of your problem. See, unlike people in a kingdom who are kind of used to having a ruler, the citizens of a republic have something to compare you to, their own free past. They remember what it was like to call the shots, and that memory is a fire that's always ready to be reignited.
This chart really breaks it down, doesn't it? On one side, you have monarchies. They're often easier to handle. People are used to a chain of command. Get rid of the old king, and they might just accept you. But republics, they're a whole different animal. There's more life, more passion, more pure hatred for you, the conqueror. And it's all fueled by that one thing you can't take away, the memory of what they lost.
Okay, so you know the danger is huge. What does Machiavelli say you should actually do? Well, he doesn't pull any punches. He lays out a playbook with 3 very direct, very cold-blooded options for any ruler facing this mess. Here they are, your only 3 real choices. Option 1, just destroy the place, burn it to the ground. Option 2, you pack your bags, move in, and rule from there, in person. And option 3, you let them keep their old ways, but you install a puppet government that owes everything to you. Let's dig into each of these. We have to start with the most shocking one, the piece of advice that made Machiavelli famous, or maybe infamous. It sounds horrific, but there's a cold, hard logic behind it.
And there you have it, straight from the source. The logic is as brutal as it gets. If you don't destroy their city and its memory of freedom will eventually destroy you. The cry for liberty will always, always come back. By turning the city to rubble, you kill the memory at its source. For Machiavelli, it's the only 100% guaranteed way to stay safe.
Now, if total destruction isn't your thing, there's a less extreme path. You move in. By actually living there, you get 2 big advantages. First, you can spot trouble the second it starts and crush it before it grows into a real rebellion. And second, your presence makes your power real and tangible. It shows you're committed, and it gives people a way to come to you with problems, which can, maybe, build a little bit of loyalty.
The third option is a bit sneakier. You basically outsource control. You find a few locals who are willing to play ball. You put them in charge, and you let them run the day-to-day stuff, as long as they collect your taxes and stay loyal. The whole idea is that their power comes from you, so they have every reason to keep you happy. Machiavelli even points to how the Spartans tried this with Athens and Thebes. But, and this is a really big but, Machiavelli also shows us that this option is a dud. It just doesn't work. In the very examples he uses, the puppet states that Sparta set up, they failed. They always fail. Why? Because the people's desire for real freedom is always going to be stronger than their loyalty to a government they see as a total fraud. This strategy just kicks the can down the road.
The fact that this clever option fails, well, that tells us something really important about Machiavelli's thinking. It's so easy to just write him off as a guy who thinks violence is the answer to everything, but that's way too simple. His ideas about security are much, much smarter than that.
So we're back to this fundamental question. If destroying the city is the only sure way, does that mean it's always the best way? Is power really just about having the biggest stick? Machiavelli actually explores this by looking at another tool of security, and it reveals what he truly thinks.
Back in the day, rulers were obsessed with building fortresses. I mean, they were the ultimate symbol of security, right? Big stone walls to keep your enemies out and your own unhappy people in. But Machiavelli, he was a little skeptical. He saw them as just a tool, and a tool that wasn't always useful. His logic here is pretty brilliant. He basically says, who are you more afraid of? If you fear your own people, then yeah, build a fortress. It can protect you from a riot. But if your main worry is another country invading, he says fortresses can actually be a bad thing. So what's his reasoning?
And this all leads us to the final and I think the most powerful insight Machiavelli has on what really keeps a ruler safe. And surprise, it's not about stone walls and it's not about destruction. It's about something else entirely. This one sentence right here is one of the most important takeaways from the entire book. The best defense, the strongest fortress you can ever have as a ruler, is to simply not be hated by the people you rule. And why is that? Because if the people truly despise you, they will always find a way to take you down. They might even invite a foreign army in to help them do it. A fortress is completely useless against an entire population that has decided it wants you gone. In the end, having the people on your side, or at least not actively hating you, is more secure than any wall you could ever build. And that leaves us with a question that is just as real today as it was 500 years ago. For any leader, in any country, what's the true foundation of security? Is it a fortress of stone, a show of force, or is it that much harder, much more complicated thing we call the loyalty of the people?
If you enjoyed this summary and want to explore the complete book, you'll find the link in the description below. Thank you so much for watching, and happy reading.